already been addressed. What are your thoughts of Sam being out for this week, and more importantly, what have you seen from Jeff over the course of these last couple of practices that make you feel like he's ready to get this stuff started?
Well, I mean, it's just, always unfortunate to lose your starting quarterback with all the reps you got. We know we've got a young group in the infant stage of our offense, and so to lose a guy who's hot right now, who's moving the ball, is always hard. But I mean, that's the nature of this game. You're going to see it at all levels, especially our level, NFL level. You're going to get a guy go down, and the next guy's got to step up. I think Jeff coming in the summer, having put in the time in the fall camp, having been in the training camp, having been in the room, and really put his best foot forward in regards to doing what we do and learn the offense without just sitting back and saying I'm a backup quarterback and I'm going to show up 59-59. I'm going to leave right when it says to leave. He's been putting in some dark hours with everybody else. He's got a good relationship with Sam. They've done a good job throughout the offseason putting some extra time in together, working together, competing together. And, I mean, shoot, we didn't name the starter for till training camp, really, until we got close with Sam, too. It wasn't that defined. And so he's competing, and we've got all the confidence in the world. So I think Coach is doing the right thing by getting out there early and saying, hey, here we go. We got our guy, and let's go to work.
You discussed how you train all your quarterbacks the same, give them all the same attention.
Yeah.
How do you see Jeff's development through the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's only fair. I mean, if you end up, really, I think there's a realness to the whole deal. You got a starter who you're young and you're giving the most rep to, but you can't discount the fact, having done this a long time, you can't discount the fact that you're one hit away from having this happen. And so I think that's really just the maturity probably at the position and the coaching and having been through it. And as a player and a coach, I've had broken ribs. I've been taken out. I've been pulled back in. I've been the starter. And I know what that's like. I know what it's like for the program. I know what it's like for the locker room. I know what it's like for the room, for the unit, for the coaching staff to say, hey, can the next guy up? Do we feel confident that he can do what we need to do? And he's had a great week. Done a great week. Hasn't flinched. Went in the game. Did a nice job. Scored a touchdown. And I'm excited about the week of prep with him.
What about his skill set excites you the most?
Well, I mean, obviously you can make within the offense doesn't have to change. That's the beauty. A lot of times I shouldn't say a lot, sometimes, and hopefully not all the time, is that you have to pare back something. He can't do this, he can't do that. One guy's dynamic in one way and can't do that. He can make every throw. I mean, you guys have been out here, you've seen him throw. He can make every run, physical, smart, been in a lot of systems, understands protections. And done a good job in really his fourth offense of really cleaning the slate and saying, hey, you know what, here's what we do, here's how we do it. So we haven't had to change anything in offense, which is great. And that's I think that's a tribute to him and the unit and everyone around him. Because at the end of the day, there's a new quarterback, but we've got 10 other guys on the field that got to be able to toe the line too. And I think that's an incredible piece of what you get to challenge your unit with, is that you get a bunch of guys that need to also surround themselves around him, not just somebody who has to go out there on the stage by himself.
What are some challenges of Cincinnati's defense that you guys are going to have to focus on this week?
Yeah, they've done a great job. I mean, first of all, the scheme overall, that you get a bunch of guys who play hard in that scheme. I think coaches come in there and install that defense the right way. You can tell that they're working through the install of it. I've seen it a couple times here in the career with that 3-3-5. So they're playing hard. The nose tackles are really good player. The corners are good players. The linebackers play downhill. They know what they're going to do. They're sound. Last week was, I think, one of their best games. And you can see they're really coming to fruition with what they need to do in that defense. So they do a really nice job. They do a really good job taking the ball away and punching the ball and stripping the ball. You can see that's an emphasis. And so I know it's going to be a really good test on the road, which we need.
How has Cam's effectiveness opened up for you guys with your offense?
One more time.
How has Cam's effectiveness in the run game affected what you can do offensively and openly?
Well, I mean, that's been our identity from the beginning. I mean, we talked about that. We said, what do you want to do with the offense? I mean, my whole career has been built on running the football and getting a guy in the backfield that can run and pound and create lanes and create single post safety stuff and matchups outside and the play action game. Anytime you have a guy who runs like that, who's dynamic and works behind those five guys up front that way, and put him on the second level, we've had a lot of success, knock on wood, in this offense running with guys like that. He's done a fantastic job and continue to pound it.
Obviously, with scat, running game is going to be a focus. How would you say the passing game has been so far this season? With obviously Sam in the center now, transitioning to Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, you're building your pass game around the ability for a run in this offense. The play action stuff's been going. You got a rookie quarterback at third down and a lot of different presentations of defense. I'm excited about the opportunities that these guys have presented themselves about being able to learn and come out. I think we've created some one-on-ones for some guys in situations. I think we've had some explosive plays. We're far from where we're going to be. I know that, but I've been excited about the evolution of how the pass game has been able to be, become secondary to the run game in regards to how it all ties together.
What's it say about Sam going back in the game after being hurt?
Yeah, I mean that's you guys ask that question a lot. What are you getting from Sam? I mean, you just turn the tape on now. You get a guy who goes in and fracture a rib and go back in the game. Had that happen too. That hurts. If anybody's had broken ribs and gone back in, that's a pain. And so just the toughness. I think the toughness and DNA of that kid is exactly what we've all talked about and why he's put himself in the position to lead this football team for a long time.
He's obviously not a guy who's slided or has been sliding. Is this a bit of a wake-up call on that front?
Be more specific. Sliding. I'm sorry, slide. I thought you meant like diminishing. I got you. No, sliding, getting down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he plays a pretty aggressive type of ball. I mean, I think you got to learn certain things. But that was kind of an issue. That was kind of a bang bang. That was in the middle here. He's in the middle of the thing. It's kind of a hard place to slide down there in tight red, trying to dive and get down and protect himself, and just took it. Took one. That happens. But that is an emphasis that we do encourage, obviously, that position, because it's just it's a focal point of keeping your longevity and and let alone the season in your career.
Did something go wrong on the play? It kind of looked like a broken play.
It was perfect. No, it was not. It was not. It was a teachable moment. And I won't get into the specifics of it because it might get some, but it was a very teachable moment on it. But communication, a big communication on that. And not for any of the reason that it was messed up, trying to do a couple different things at once. And that's what happens. Start thinking about, I'm doing this and that, and then here we go. Made a positive play out of it, did a nice job, and then took a hit.
Coach, Jeff talked during Camp T about how sometimes the mental aspect of college football is something that's kind of held him back a little bit. Have you had any conversations with him about him being the starter this week, or anything that's kind of been new or different in that aspect?
I've had a ton of conversations about being the starter because he's been named the starter, for sure. I think the mental piece for Jeff has been the fact, and I think he may put a lot of hardship on himself. He's had 4 or 5 different systems in 4 years. And so to be able to try to manage those multiple languages over and over, a new coordinator, new school, new coordinator, new school, that gets really tough to get yourself in a rhythm of understanding how to play the position, at a high level. And so I may be defending him a little bit, but that's how I cleaned the slate for him and said, hey, I want to go teach you from the ground up, see where you're at, and kind of continue to go. So I think the mental aspects for him is regards as the fact that it's been new every time. And so that's hard,